Hey, welcome to this masterclass, you guys. Thank you so much. Those of you that are watching live, thank you to those who will be catching the replay. I am really excited. Oh, still admitting people. To bring this to you. I've been working on my slides all day and I kept thinking of like, oh, this and this, and I'm really excited. So I'll be sharing my screen with you in just a little bit, but I've asked people who are on live to let us know where you're tuning in from, what part of the world. I am in Great Eagle, California, which is in the Los Sierras, north of Tahoe. And it was like a really warm day today, which is great. I'm glad that spring has sprung. And yeah, we've got Butterfly Valley, Tahoe, California, Truckee. Dolores, I know you're in Kronberg, Massachusetts. We have perfect. Love it.
Thanks, Alex, that much. Go ahead.
Wow. Oh, hi, Stephanie. You're not muted, by the way, honey. Although you guys are always welcome to unmute yourself and share. I'm happy to hear from you. I want this to be an interactive class, and I think I'm ready to get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I may have to jump out of my screen just in a couple minutes to make sure there's no one else in the waiting room. Oops. Where is the... Just one second. Okay, that's why I was confused. Okay. You guys see my screen okay? And let's get started. Let me know if you don't see it for any reason. Okay, so 6 ways I've made money online, honest pros and cons of each of these methods. You know that. I do want to ask a favor of you guys. So your undivided attention is very valuable. You decided to log into this Zoom or to start this replay, whatever that is. I just ask that you inform anyone in your house that you're watching a class so you don't get interrupted. Maybe turn your phone on airplane mode or on silent and minimize your distractions so that you can actually listen and get the full experience and then be able to make an informed decision on, whether one of these options may be right for you and all of that. By the end of this masterclass, you will get a glimpse of the variety and the potential available in the online space. You will also have a clear understanding of the ways that I personally have generated income online and an idea of whether or not these may be a good fit for you. Also, if you stay live until the very end, I'm doing a giveaway. So hope to see you guys on there. So working from home and working online used to be more of a luxury market, a lot more of like freedom lifestyle, laptop lifestyle. But ever since March 2020, the landscape has changed where a lot more people are rushing to make money online because they saw how easy it was for the government to pull away their ability to work. But those of us who are working online, that ability was not pulled away from us, and it actually was an advantage to us at that time. We hopefully are out of the pandemic, but we also know that things like that could happen again in the future. And having a way to earn online may just differentiate it, who makes it or breaks it in these economic times. And it's feeling a little uncertain for a lot of people economically. Online is a space that has been growing exponentially since the pandemic started. If you are here, it's likely that you're someone who is proactive, not reactive. You're adaptable and smart AF. You understand that this is a pivotal time to focus on entrepreneurship. You understand the importance of gratitude and co-creating your reality, I'm assuming, because I usually attract people who think that way as well. Maybe you're someone who values the environment, your health, relationships, the ability to travel, community, freedom of expression, freedom of love. And it's likely you're open to new ways of creating income as well. So go ahead and drop a yes in the comment box for me if you desire some certainty in your career and finances in the future. And drop a yes if you desire more time freedom in your day-to-day life. And if that's not you right now, that's fine. You don't have to drop a yes. I'm just going to see kind of where you guys are at. Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. Love hearing from you. A little bit about me. So I'm Coralie. I grew up in Northern California, actually at my mom's house that she's tuning into from here. And I grew up knowing that I was always meant for greatness, knowing that I always wanted to be rich, knowing that I always wanted to also travel a ton and play. Play is the really, really high priority for me. I'm also very competitive. I'm also very academic. I was voted most likely to succeed in high school and was very driven and just like, everywhere, doing all the things, overachiever. And in college, I majored in math. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, but I knew that I liked math and it was a challenge and that I was good at it. So a lot of normal classes were kind of like boring for me. So I wanted something that really just like made my mind work, and solving puzzles has always been like something really, really captivating to me. But I didn't want to teach. I looked at engineering also, but I job shadowed engineers and I was like, no, that's not for me either. And so I just started waitressing after college. I had just had my daughter, and my ex used to ask me all the time. He'd be like, so what's your career? Like, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? And at that time I was 23 and I was like, I don't know. I don't think I've found my career yet, but I'll know it when I see it. And it wasn't until 2015 that I started learning more about careers in the online space. And that's when I was like, that's it. I think I've found it. I have always loved leading, and I love the ability with the internet to reach and impact more and more people, to share my message. I love writing, all of that. So that was the career that I started learning about how to break into back in 2015. And it's been quite a journey since then, a really great journey. Not as quick success, not as easy as like college where I knew how to like get the best grades. It's been quite a I think that the online space is kind of like the wild, wild west. It's like people are scared of getting scammed. Like there are scams. I personally haven't been. But then there's also people that are just making millions, and there's no rules. I mean, there is rules, but it's different, right? And it's kind of a new emerging industry. So it's been really, really cool, and I'm excited to share that with you. A little bit about these pictures. This is my son Paxton on the left. We went to a gem show in Tucson. That was a huge rose quartz bench that we were sitting on. Below that is me skiing. I love to ski. I live close to Tahoe and like to go up a lot. Though this winter was kind of a bummer. We had one good storm and that was it. This is my daughter Addie. My son is 4, by the way. Oops. And my daughter is 8. She's silly and fun. This on the top right is Crystal Castle in Australia, the coolest amethyst I've ever seen in my life. Really, really grateful I got to go there. That was actually a work business trip. And on the bottom right, that is what I love to do in the summer. That's Jameson Falls with my friend Bree. And that's a swim spot about 15 minutes from my house. Really, really grateful to have that here. I'm going to stop my share just for a second, make sure nobody's in the waiting room. Okay, perfect. And we're back. So I shared a little bit about my background like after college. What I hadn't shared with you quite yet is how badly I struggled with money once I had kids. So I was very adamant that I didn't want to put my kids in full-time daycare when they were born. I also felt really unready to have kids. I was pregnant with my daughter at 23. I had her when I was 24. I was like, I didn't have time to develop my career. I felt just like, oh man, we didn't have any savings. Racked up credit card debt over the years, and I was working and I was waitressing part time through these years, but I was really in a scarcity mindset and really just desiring something more, feeling really aimless as in my waitressing career. I waitressed for about 13 years and I'm great at it and the money is pretty good per hour. But it wasn't fulfilling me and it wasn't purpose and it wasn't my purpose. And um until I found the online space, I really was feeling just like aimless, desiring a purpose, wanting to be of service, but like conflicted into as to how or what that would look like. So I was able to get clear on how to work on my money issues, still a work in progress, gotten a whole lot better, and have that direction and that purpose to go to. I have now been self employed full time since March 2020. Up to that point, I had been working online. I had even stopped waitressing, but right before then, I was still personal training and teaching yoga quite a bit as income. And then the pandemic happened, and I just had to make it online basically. My ex didn't get his unemployment. He lost his job in the pandemic, didn't get his unemployment for about 6 months. We were living in Tahoe, and I luckily was able to float us and support us in that time. And I was so, so, so grateful for that. A year ago, I left my marriage. I'm now a single mom, and I assumed all financial responsibility of the house that we lived in together. So this month it marks a year of me paying rent fully by myself in this house, which I feel a little proud of. And I also have majority custody of our two kids who are homeschooled. So I actually don't have a ton of time to work. Um, so I'm grateful for all the work I did in the past to make it so that I can actually still survive and thrive in this time. In the last year, I've still had the ability to travel, reinvest in my own personal development and healing modalities. I've gotten certified in the last year, spend quality time with my kids. I have a boyfriend now who's really, really, really amazing and good for me. And I have pure time freedom in my schedule, which is something that I could only dream about when I was waitressing, especially when I was waitressing two different jobs. The idea of being able to make my own schedule and have that time freedom was a huge goal of mine. It maybe has been very valuable. Are you guys still on there with me? Okay, yeah, you guys are still on there. That was weird. It booted me off for a second. So I refused in the last year to let being a single mom stop me from playing, having fun, doing lots of travel. I went so many places in the last year, had so much fun, had a lot of time and playtime with my kids, spent a ton of time outside in the summer. Um, this was Joshua Tree recently that I just went to. This was Mexico. I went with my girlfriend there. This waterfall was outside of Portland. I went there this summer. Got to go to my very first Burning Man. Took my daughter to the Redwoods and to Santa Cruz to see her birthplace, coast camping trips. Went to this beautiful poppy field in Texas last spring. This is my boyfriend, Ryan. And I live life to the fullest. It's a huge priority to me. And being able to find a career and a job where I can work and live life to the fullest has been really, really a game changer. Okay, drop a yes in the comment box if you desire to be of service and impact the world in a beneficial way, if you believe in choice and molding your own life, and if you're open to learning what options there are out there. Now drop and drop and I'm ready in the comments if you would like to see what exact strategies I've implemented in generating income online. I'm ready. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So this was the very first thing I launched in 2016 was group coaching programs. I was a health coach. I really, really enjoyed delivering these programs. And I'll go into that a little bit more. So what I liked about group coaching programs was I had complete autonomy over what I offered. So I could be like, oh, I want to do this. And there's nobody saying, no, you can't do that. I had complete control. I got to develop my own schedule. My first day of opening my business doors online, I generated $800 in that first day. And I've been like waitressing my whole life, and I had never made $800 in a day waitressing. Like that would be an amazing day waitressing. So seeing that that was possible to do online in one day was like a total hook for me. Group coaching programs were developed from a place of deep service. Okay, I'm back. I think it booted me off again. But hopefully it's where you guys are all still on, so hopefully it's working okay. And I switched to my other Wi-Fi, so fingers crossed that doesn't do that again. All right. Okay, so where I was group coaching programs were developed from a place of deep service, impact, and I was able to help people. It was also uniquely me and my brand, and I didn't have to hide behind any other brand or another product or anything like that, which I liked. Some cons of the group coaching program and that model. It was weeks and weeks, actually months of work before and after launching the program. So a lot of time was put into each of these programs. I had to learn a ton of techie things. So, how to make landing pages, how to do payment processing systems, how to build funnels, how to lead webinars, email sequences, content creation, promotion. I also had to pay separately for almost all of those things, which can get a little pricey, especially when you're at a monthly payment. I also, I had like this I want to do it all on my own, but then I also had solopreneur blues. So what I mean by that is that I'm an entrepreneur, but I also love collaborating with people. So when I was running these group coaching programs, it really was just me wearing all of the hats and doing all of the things, and it made me feel a little bit isolated and lonely. Oh, quick burnout also. I was only able to make money if I was actually delivering and working and showing up. So here's some example of group coaching courses I've done. Some of you actually may have done some of these with me. The first one I ever did was a 6-week sugar detox boot camp. It was a big success. I made a couple $1,000s in my very first group coaching launch, and then delivered it over 6 weeks. And then I had that content to reuse. Unfortunately, I never made as much as I did the first time that I launched it, which was interesting because I thought that that would keep growing. I've also led one called 21 Days to a Happy Gut about gut health. From Chaos to Clarity Mastermind. That one was more of a mindset group coaching course. One-on-one coaching is the other thing that I've done. So that's where you're just working with one client at a time. Or focusing on one client. You may have multiple one-on-one clients, but it's not a big group thing. One-on-one coaching is a great way to have a base pay, knowing that, okay, so I have 3 one-on-one coaching clients. Say I charge, a lot of coaches charge like $1,000 a month. I never charged quite that much for my health coaching, but that's an industry standard, I would say. And so if you have about 3 one-on-one clients a month, you know that you have that 3,000 a month coming in. It's a high ticket offer usually, and so that usually means less time per client acquisition. Able to change others' lives really, really deeply and have an impact. When people are investing that much into change, they are committed, which is a really, really beautiful thing to see. I had complete autonomy over what I offered, again, in this kind of coaching. I developed my own schedule. The cons for me of one-on-one coaching was it took constant promotion to retain client numbers. I would maybe have a contract with someone for 3 months, and then that would be over, and I would be back to square one of like, okay, like gotta fill that slot again. And it felt like a lot of promoting. Sales calls. I hated sales calls when I first started online. I still don't love them, and you guys will see, I don't really do them. They Sales calls are something that is a skill that can be learned, and I actually am pretty good at them now when I do them, but it was not something that was my strong suit when I first started online, and so that was a huge learning curve for me. With coaching, I didn't see a long-term plan, besides keeping a full roster of clients and then taking like a portion of those proceeds and putting that into my own retirement, but that still was always my time, and it just seemed daunting to me. I was like, where's the like long-term strategy on here? Lots of time supporting each client. So I didn't have as much time or bandwidth for other aspects of my business. And I personally had worthiness battles internally, especially on charging. I personally didn't feel good charging $1,000 a month for my coaching. Other people, I've paid that. I've paid more than that. So other people don't have that problem, but for me, I had a lot of worthiness issues around putting my prices out there and standing behind them. I also was very solopreneur, just me working, wearing all the hats, doing all the thing, answering all the emails in this mode as well. Okay, e-courses and workshops. Can't see the chat anymore. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So some of the pros for an e-courses and workshops are, like this will explain. So build it once, then you can keep leveraging the time spent in the beginning. So if someone buys an e-course to 30 days to a happy gut, for example, I already built it. I spend a lot of time building it in the front end, but then it can just keep getting sold again and again and again. So that was a really exciting concept for me when I first started doing e-courses. I did these after group coaching and after one-on-one coaching. I started building out these e-courses. A lot of them were based on coaching programs that I had done. Felt always from a place of service and impactful. I again had complete autonomy over what I offered. If you can't tell, I really value like paving my own way, doing my own thing, not answering to someone else's expectations. So these were all very valuable to me in that way. Schedule and pricing were developed by me. Some of the cons for e-courses and workshops were a lot of back-end time building them out. I found it much harder to promote evergreen offers. So an evergreen is something that's available at all times versus a launch where it's like the doors open, there's a deadline for people to come in, doors close. So when I had it evergreen, when I had everything open at all times, there wasn't the time, or there wasn't necessarily incentives for somebody to act that day and actually purchase it. So I actually found that I made less sales this way. I had to pay a ton to host the courses, and some months I didn't make more than the hosting payment processing fees. Also, again, solopreneur blues, felt very alone, very much like, oh my gosh, it's all on me. If anything's going to happen, it's all on me. And I began to burn out also with this method as well. But there is a ton of value in this as well. I'm super grateful for everything that I've done online. Okay, membership programs was another thing I did after this. So I created, what I personally did is I created a monthly membership where people paid a flat amount. I made mine pretty affordable. I think it was like $29 a month. And they got access to a whole library of workouts that I was doing. And we did live workouts every week. And I think I did some live meditations and trainings as well. So membership programs can turn into a good monthly income because those people are paying monthly. It was really, really fun to connect with my people on a regular basis and see them live every week. It was a pretty simple setup to build the offer. I just did it personally in a Facebook group. And, and then I had a catalog of videos that I hosted on my eCourse site as well that I gave them access to. Again, complete autonomy over what I offered. Schedule and pricing developed by me. Some of the cons for my experience with membership programs, it was hours and hours and hours of promotion for a pretty low ticket item. And I also didn't realize like, oh, okay, so if I get, 10 people in the first month, I have to calculate for how many people will actually keep going each month. And so the promotion's kind of ongoing because you're going to be losing people along the way. So it's like this constant like ebb and flow. And I didn't really calculate that for myself and ended up losing quite a few people and not replacing that. And it felt draining to me at that point. Again, still felt pretty solopreneur. This was fun because I was connecting with my clients and my audience, but I didn't have anybody like by my side running alongside me in the business aspect, which is something that's important to me. I do believe membership programs have great potential, especially for just like a consistent monthly income. I do believe personally they work best if you already have a very large engaged following. The fifth way that I've generated income online is, and I still do this. So this is my number 5 and number 6 are currently what I focus on right now. So this is contract work. What I personally do right now is I manage other people's social media. I've also managed the marketing and social media for a music festival in the last year. I've also done a lot of like copywriting gigs here and there. I've managed other people's Facebook ads. So this is something that I still find really valuable. I will tell you though why I don't like to rely on this as the only thing. So I set my own prices and terms, which is great. I can monetize skill sets I learned from all of my previous online businesses to help others with theirs, which is really, really, really great. I get paid for every hour worked, which, and what I personally do is I have an app on my phone called Hours Tracker, and I have the different jobs. Right now, I only have one job. I usually do 2 max in terms of other contract work that I do. But what I do is I go in and I literally hit clock in, and then I tell my kids like mommy's clocked in right now, and I, work, work, work. My current rate is $111 per hour. I'm very, very efficient. So usually whatever it is I'm doing, I'm getting it done in like 10 minutes a day. And then I clock out once I'm done, and I'm very focused on, like someone's paying me for this time. So I'm using this for that. That's how I personally do my contract work. It's a simple, straightforward way to earn, just bill for my hours. The cons for contract work, there's no long-term retirement strategy or passive income future. It's definitely still very bound by time. And having to meet client expectations for me personally can be a little bit energetically draining. Your pay does not include time spent learning the skills that you're using. So, I wouldn't clock in to like watch a YouTube video on how to use their, Wix account. Like I learned that on my own time and then clock in to actually do it. So you're sometimes the hours you're working is much more than you're actually billing. And then the sixth way that I earn online, and this one I am going to go really in depth into and explaining to you. So this is in commission-based earning, and I personally partner with a high ticket item in this. So for this business structure, there is no need to learn the back-end techie details. So you know how I said with coaching, I had to learn landing pages and funnels and payment processing systems and host all of those myself. In this business model, all of that is already taken care of. There is a community of like-minded visionaries with built-in mentoring and support, opposite a solopreneur, which has been really great for me. Don't need to do your own sales calls. More on that later, but that's pretty fabulous. Clarity on what to spend time and what to focus on. that's huge in being an entrepreneur. And this is clarity given in a academy structure where it's like, first do this, first do this, first do this. So I found that to be really, really helpful in getting results. Tons of opportunity for co-working and collaboration, live events to attend. I've been to Australia twice because through this, Las Vegas. I guess that's it. Since the shutdown, we haven't had any live events that I've attended, but it'll happen again. um, High payouts with structure built in. You can earn while you're learning. So, when you go to college, it's like you have 4 years where you're just learning, 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 but you're not practicing and like actually seeing how that works in the real world as you're learning about it. Whereas this in online business, you get to earn money as you're still learning how it all works and as you're getting better, but you don't have to wait for the end of graduating to begin to earn. Some cons: not a job. So no promised paychecks, no promised money. It's all based on you and your ability to produce results. And that end result can feel like a feast and a famine sometimes. It's taken a lot of patience and resilience in building an online brand and seeing results. It's definitely for people who are like very visionary and can stay the course. There's a bad taste in people's mouths about network marketing, direct sales, commissions, even the word commissions. There's a stigmatism around it kind of, and even I was pretty allergic to the idea of any kind of like compensation plan or team or anything like that prior to seeing this model, because I believe it is quite a bit different. More pros and cons. I had a lot to say about this one. In this exact business model, I'll be showing you guys a lot more in future slides here. There's a clear, achievable plan for legacy income for retirement that ranges from $5,000 a month to $80,000 a month for life, that can be willed to your kids as well. And I'll show you guys exactly what that looks like. Leveraged earning, not bound by time. And often what that looks like is a lot of work in the beginning, and then the compound effect will start to take effect. And like all this time that you spent in the build phase can begin to, and that's what I've actually been able to really enjoy in the last year, is that a lot of work that I did previously when I was still with my ex paid off in terms of being able to support me and my kids in this year. There's a team atmosphere. Again, like I said, I used to be allergic to that idea, but I actually love it. I am meant to work with other people. Attraction-based marketing. So we never pitch friends and family or approach anyone. We let everybody come to us. Access to high-level, cutting-edge education on building your resilient personal brand. More on that later. No employees, no keeping stock, no monthly auto ships. One thing I haven't shared with you guys yet is that my ex and I used to own a restaurant. So I know very well some brick and mortar entrepreneur struggles. And it was tough. It was like everybody else got paid. We never got paid. We still ended up in debt, still had like tax liens against us. So much overhead for a physical business, just like so much went into that. And so I'm really grateful for this business model where I don't have employees and I don't have like a rent to pay or anything like that. Incredible compensation plan, a little bit more on that later. Lifetime cumulative sales model, go into that as well. Some more cons. Your friends, family, spouses often don't understand this way of earning and can be very skeptical, which can hold people back or make them feel like they're doing something wrong. It's easy to F off and not get the right things done to see results, or feel like you're working, but maybe not actually be taking the actions that need to be done for sales and income to come in. Self-doubt and uncertainty can be very, very prevalent. So one thing that I leverage in this high ticket offer is an academy called the Freedom Era. And I will be going more into this later in the presentation, but I just wanted to give you guys a little preview of that. So, would you guys like to see the earning potential in some of these methods that I've used online? Let's look at a few different ways, and this is actually going to be both offline and online, but let's look at a few different ways to generate. I put just a benchmark of $10,000 a month because that's an incredible, amazing number to be able to reach in anybody's life, I believe, um, with regular jobs and online. Okay, so I used to waitress. So if I would, I put an average of $25 an hour. I've definitely waitressed and made $50 an hour with tips. But you also have to factor in like opening and side work and closing and hours that you're just making minimum wage as well. So to create $10,000 in 1 month, a server would need to work 400 hours per month or 100 hours per week, which sounds pretty exhausting. Option number two, say you have a corporate job and you work 40 hours a week. So it's capped off at that. To create $10,000 in 1 month, your wage per hour would need to be $62.50. I don't know many people that make that at a corporate job personally. A massage therapist, for example, say you average $70 an hour for your services, you would need to be consistently seeing 36 clients a week to generate that 10K, which I don't know if your hands would be okay with massaging 36 people in a week. That sounds like exhausting and energetically draining potentially as well. Option number four, online coaching. So let's say one-on-one coaching, like I had said, some coaches will charge $1,600 a month for their services. That's kind of a normal number in at least business coaching industry. So you would need to retain 7 clients per month to keep that $10,000 a month. That's starting to look a little better, I would say, in terms of like not being bound by time and all of that. Freelance or contract work, say you charge $30 an hour for your services, which is what I started out charging when I first started doing contract work. I would have needed to work 83 hours per week to hit that 10K mark, which sounds pretty exhausting. Online monthly membership program, say you charge $49 per member, you would need to retain 204 paying members each month, which, like I said, if you already have a huge brand and a huge following, that's probably not an astronomical number to expect. For me personally, I'm not huge and I would be very hard pressed to retain that many people per month. Selling e-courses or group coaching programs, say you charge $197 per course, you would need 51 unique signups per month to hit that 10K a month. Let's talk a little bit about commission-based earnings. So low ticket items where commissions are $20 per sale. So this would be, for example, selling supplements or makeup or one of those companies where you're selling a pretty, like, maybe the item itself is 60 to 100 bucks, and so you're making maybe about $20 off of that, $20 to $40 off of that. You would need to sell 500 items per month if your commission was $20 per sale. I don't know about you, but that sounds like talking to a lot of people and making just a ton of time to get those transactions to be coming through. Say you earn commission on mid-range items where commissions are $250 per sale. You would need to sell 40 items per month, which is looking a lot better than 500. But also, if you're thinking about, okay, that's how many sales are actually going through, you're probably talking to at least 5 times more people than that, because 4 out of 5 people won't take any action or won't buy. So you're still having a ton of conversations and probably taking a lot of time out of your day to be doing this. Commission based earning with high ticket items, where commissions are $2,000 per sale, which this exists, you would only need to sell 5 items per month to hit that 10K. Let's again say that 4 out of people don't buy. This means that you're talking to 25 people, and that's a lot more doable. And 20 of them don't buy, but 5 of them do. That's still a very, very doable number every month to be having those conversations and chatting with people, like 25 people in a month. I compiled those all here just on one page. Let me know in the chat, is any of this interesting or any of this like an aha moment for you? I remember when I first saw someone demonstrate this to me, it was a very much like, oh, wow. Okay. I'd always been resistant to sales, but maybe there's something there. So I also like to bring in this example. So if you were a car dealer and you walked into the dealership in the morning and your boss said, hey, would you like to sell the used cars today, or do you want to sell the Ferraris today? You would pick the Ferraris because you would know that even if less people came into the shop to buy Ferraris, just one of those sales would earn you really, really high commissions and be a lot less work than selling, 20 used cars or maybe even more for that same price, or to get the same commissions. So as a used car salesman, they're always wanting to sell the more expensive cars, right? So same if you're in commission based earning. So if you're in network marketing company and MLM, you can choose. The beautiful thing about network marketing, the beautiful thing about commission based earning and the online space is that we get full autonomy over what we would want to partner with. And I'll go a little bit into affiliate marketing and what exactly that means, but we can choose what we would like to align with and what we would like to partner with. And so I find it more worth my time to focus on the Ferraris, the higher ticket items, than to focus on selling a ton and a ton and a ton of the lower ticket ones. Okay, Audrey said, interested to know more. Perfect. Drop a yes in the comment box if you're open to hear what high ticket offer I personally have decided to align with. Oops. I'm pressing things all over my computer. I swear I'm really techie, but today's been interesting. All right, I'm back. I saw some yeses come through. Okay, so I personally have aligned with getting commissions from this high ticket offer. This is called Kangen water. The company is Enagic from Japan, and it's a water ionizer system that can sit on your countertop. There is also on the left, that is a filter for your shower water. It takes any chlorine out of your bath and shower and adds in hot springs minerals that are from Japan. And then there's also a turmeric supplement as well. So those are the 3 products that Enagic offers. The Kangen water, I'll get a little bit more into that in a second. If you've heard of it, say, yes, I've heard of it in the chat. And if you haven't, say, no, never heard of it. And I just love to see where everyone's at with this. So why Enagic? I chose to align with this offer in this company as it fits my core values of financial freedom, legacy wealth, community, healthy living. I've always been so attracted to water in all forms, swimming in water. I grew up on spring water, so I've always had I need the best water, and I can taste if there's any impurities, any chlorine, anything like that in it. And so it seems full circle to me that I've like decided to align with something that has to do with water. This industry has created the network marketing, direct sales, commission-based earning industry is what I'm referring to, has created the most wealthy women globally, and Enagic is the only high-ticket company in the direct sales industry. It produces electrolyzed, filtered, and then electrolyzed reduced water. So it's not just a filter, it's actually an ionizer. It filters the water first, but then it runs it through an electrical charge, which creates different pHs of the water. You can create anything from 11.5, which is used for degreasing, cleaning, 9.5, 9.0, and 8.5 pHs. Those are great for drinking, really, really amazing drinking waters. Neutral, just filtered, not charged water. It creates 2.5 water, which is actually a hypochlorous acid sanitizer. You can sanitize anything with it. It kills MRSA, it kills all these germs. And it is known as Kangen water. Creates an eco-friendly, toxic-free sanctuary with 68 uses for all the different pHs of water that replace all products in your home, as well as ultimate drinking water. So I've been able to stop buying plastics for, like countertop cleaner, I use the 2.5. Oven cleaner, I use the 11.5. It's actually like, it works way better than any really hardcore nasty oven cleaner that I've had. I use the 6.0, 4.0 to 6.0 pH water for window washing instead of Windex. You can use the 11.5 instead of laundry detergent. All of the, which it all sounds crazy, right? Like water for all of this, but it works and it's true. This is would be a one-time investment with a long-term lifespan, usually will last about 30 years for one Kangen water machine, and a legacy plan to create financial freedom over a lifetime. There is a high return on investment, both product and business-wise. But this is what you guys maybe are asking yourself right now. You don't see me out there being a water saleswoman or really speaking a ton about this water. And that's because I totally can, I could choose to. Instead, I choose to kind of focus on my brand, my messaging, and then telling people what offers I like to affiliate with. So this is one offer that I like to affiliate with. And I really like to be able to offer a way for easy duplication. So in most traditional, excuse me, let me drink some Kangen water. So in most traditional like network marketing companies, you're doing all the legwork to educate people, right? Like, oh, learn about this water, all of that. And then they have to learn everything about the product themselves to be able to do the same. And then they have to, and I actually don't like that model of everybody having to like learn everything to be able to start to sell. And so there's another puzzle piece in here that I'm going to be introducing you guys to that helps with the duplication and the automation. Automation is basically having systems to take time freedom as a priority. And so you're not having to sit and explain everything to everyone. So I gave you guys a very, very brief explanation of the water that is not even like scratching the surface, but I have the resources to send you if you want to learn more, and you can go through all that on your own without me taking the time to explain that all to you one-on-one. Being my own brand, I like to speak my messaging and have my unique authenticity come through in my social media rather than standing behind a product. I am my product. And affiliate marketing is basically me being my product and then saying, hey, this is one of the offers that I affiliate with. And then I can earn commissions off of that recommendation. So let's take a little tour. I'd mentioned Enagic and I'd mentioned the Freedom Era. They actually pair together in this really, really beautiful synergy. So the Freedom Era is an online academy that teaches people how to run online business, build a personal brand, and also the Freedom Era promotes Enagic and educates people on the water and how all of that works. So I'm actually going to stop this share and take you guys a little bit into the back end of, here we go, of the Freedom Era. So this is the back end of the Freedom Era, and it is a all-in-one platform for people to be able to learn about online business, have all the skill sets, and also be supported in getting their first sales online, because that can be like a really tricky thing, right? Is like getting launched and getting their first sales online. So we have a ton of courses to support people on like what step is next, what step is next, focus on this, now focus on this. We have discovery process when people first come into the academy that basically helps them get really clear on their own goals and their own aspirations, and what exactly how all of this business stuff works, how Enagic ties into the Freedom Era. You guys are probably still like, it's feeling a little fuzzy. That's because it takes a little bit of time to go through this discovery process and actually see it all laid out professionally and in a way that you can understand. There's a launch your business offer, which is a step-by-step, like, okay, here's your task for day one, here's your task for day two. And I don't know about you guys, but I like having that kind of structure. There's Money Mastery, which is one of the best money courses I've ever taken, marketing, sales, Instagram, fundamentals, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, and mastery. So people can choose to build organically, which is not paying for ads, or they can choose to pay for ads too, which makes your posts be reached by more people, but you're also gambling a little bit more by paying. I have tried both. I just do organic at the moment, but I've had success with running ads as well. Embodiment and any inner work. Everyone in this community is all about mindset, inner work. They say 80% focus on mindset and inner work and your vibration and your energy, and 20% strategy and action, because the 80% like focusing on your energy, focusing on your vibration is the most attractive thing you can do to attracting other people to your business. Leadership, affiliate offer specific training, sales, more sales training. There's also a weekly masterclass. These are incredible. They bring in just really, really like a wide variety of people to come in and give us trainings, like even some really out there stuff like this one with Livia Devi. She channels from aliens and like gives us messages, which I'm really into all of that. There's some more like structured, like this is how you can do, monetize Facebook groups, Facebook ads, and all of that. But there's a really big eclectic mix of masterclasses and trainings that you can dig into that goes on for there's probably almost 100 of these by now. There's also this business center, which is not loading for me right now. And so they also give us the ability to, they also give us sales funnels that are already built. I chose to do my own webinar, my own class, my own, have my face and talk about this how I want to, but I also can send people to webinars that are already made and coded to my name, and they can watch that and say, hey, yes, I do want to check this out. And that's all going to be coded on the back end to me. I didn't build any of that. And they can then go through the discovery process on themselves and all of that. So I think that's all I wanted to show you guys in here. We have a big Facebook group. Yesterday we had a 4-hour long live training with a bunch of speakers, and there was a bunch of people on live, and the energy was just so high. It's been really fun to be a part of that. Okay. Oh, you guys don't see my screen share? Shoot. Right now? Screen sharing. No, you guys still don't see. You didn't see any of the back end of the Freedom Era? Okay, let me try again. Where's the last place that you guys saw my screen? How about now? Okay, you guys have all right. Well, you got to hear me talk all about it. Sorry about that. The chat doesn't pop up. I have to manually find it when I'm sharing my screen. Still no? Still no. So interesting. It tells me that it's sharing. It looks like it is buffering. Hmm. How about now? Yes. Okay, we're back. Whew. Okay. All right, now that you've heard the audio of this, thanks for hanging with me, you guys. Now that we've heard the audio of this, here's the visuals. So here's the background out of the back end of the Freedom Era. This is what it looks like when you first log in. The home page gives you kind of step-by-step instructions of what that looks like. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. They're starting a 90-day mastermind coming up soon. That's going to be really, really valuable. A lot of accountability. In the last mastermind I did, like if you didn't do your homework every week, you actually got kicked out of it, which I like that because I'm like, yes, keep me accountable. Tons of courses. These are the courses. You heard me speak them off last time. Just a ton of different education to go into. And these courses are like, I used to pay separately for a lot of these things. So I used to be like, oh, okay, so I need to learn how to build a landing page. So I'm going to buy a course for that and buy a course for that. And this is all in one. Master classes. This is where I was saying every week someone comes on and they are all over the place, very different offerings, woo-woo stuff, practical stuff, cutting edge things, hypnotherapy, healing sessions, all of that. It's not letting me scroll down, but there's some of that. Ton of different variety in the kinds of speakers they bring on to those master classes as well. And the other thing I showed you guys was basically within this business center, there's links that are coded specifically to me. So it can be very automated. Like I can put a link to this webinar on my Instagram and someone can come randomly and be like, oh, let me see what this is about, watch the webinar, sign up, and it's all coded to me. And I didn't build any of that funnel at all, which I have a huge appreciation for because of how much time I used to spend building all of this backend stuff. We have a Facebook group and in-person meetups and all of that. Cool. Now I'm going to go back to my presentation. So that was our little tour. The Freedom Era is a $99 a month for the Academy and for the sales funnels. And I'll go in a little bit more about what the sales funnels entail and what that means. And there's also a 14-day money back guarantee. So someone can sign up and look through it all and understand like all of the business workings and all of that, and then decide, oh, this isn't for me, and no questions asked, they can get their money back. So I found this community to be a really thriving ecosystem. So everybody in here prioritizes health. Everyone's pretty crunchy, and yeah, just health is wealth, right? And personally, for me, drinking the water has been one of the best thing that I've done for my family. My daughter had really bad gut health issues, bloating and stomach pain. And I had done a ton to mitigate that. I had put her on the GAPS diet. I had cut out all these things and I had helped it a lot, but it didn't fully get better. And the bloating didn't fully get away until I also had her drinking the Kangen water as well. It's superior hydration and it really helps our body and our cells function in the way that they're supposed to, as well as creating an alkaline environment in our bodies, which is a place that cancer cannot grow. There's structure around the business model and what to do with it, team, cutting edge training and support, mentorship. I can't even tell you how much coaching and mentorship and accountability I've gotten for free just from being a part of this community. I have not needed to go outside and pay for, I have paid for a private coach because I personally felt called to, um, and that's been a short stint in my time here. But for the most part, I get all of my mentoring and training for free. Really amazing leadership. I am continually impressed by the leaders in this business and their integrity and how they show up and their honesty and all of that. That's all really important to me. Collaboration is important to me. My human design is a manifester, and so I'm really great at initiating things and having ideas, but it helps for me to have a team and other people to bounce those ideas off of and help me actually like get them happened and fleshed out. Otherwise, I just have ideas all the time, but nothing actually happens. Um, Personal branding, that's basically us being able to share our own message and be our own unique, authentic self and still monetize that. Community and personal development are really prevalent and high in this. I mentioned before that we focus on attraction based marketing. So nobody is ever saying make a list of your 100 closest friends and pitch them. That sounds traumatizing to me. I really value the friendships with people close to me. And I have never approached someone asking them to take a look. I just post on my socials and let people say, yes, I'm interested. I would like to find out. We get to support you in creating value in alignment with your passions, gifts, and purpose, and not having to be, cold messaging people and all of that. We use value forward selling. So we believe in giving people value first before asking for any kind of sale. Never ever encouraged to pitch to friends and family. As I said, sometimes friends and family will end up buying, but it's because they've come to you out of interest, not from guilt or you approaching them. Cutting edge marketing techniques that are in integrity to being of service. I have never seen anyone guilt tripped into this business or pressured or anything like that. It's all very of choice. Is this an alignment for you or not? Beautiful either way. We get to create soul aligned wealth through passion and purpose, which is really a high value for me. Like I mentioned, when I was waitressing, I was feeling like I wasn't serving a purpose. I wasn't like realizing my true potential. And when you are your brand, you get to create whatever you want underneath that umbrella. So my brand is Coral Lee, my name, my first and middle name. And under that, I have different streams of income. So, like I said, I have the contract work where I help people with their socials or marketing or whatever that is. I have my affiliate offers. I have sometimes I will still do one off coaching programs or, things like that. So, those aren't totally behind me. I ran a sugar detox program a year ago, and it was great because I needed it and it was fun. So all of those things still get to happen. It's whatever I choose, all under my umbrella. All points back to what you're passionate about, what your gifts are, your offering, your mission, um, health, empowerment, clean living, body work, whatever it is that you're really passionate about, you can take this at any angle. We have huge variety of people in this community that all promote very, very differently. And you'll see some of that in these slides. So how does this business model work exactly? Probably still a little fuzzy to you. It still might be. It took me watching at least 3 hours of videos and sleeping on it and having a day to think about it and sleeping on it again for it to actually click for me. So just warning, you may be like that as well, but I'll do my best to explain. So step one, I create content on my social media, inviting others to look at some kind of free training. It might be in a Facebook group. It might be this that I invited you guys to. It might just be a webinar that's just on its own, pre-recorded or live, whatever that is. It's a free offer and people are giving their attention, which is very, very valuable. On that training, viewers are introduced to the Freedom Era Academy and can choose to pay the $99 with that 14-day money back guarantee to take the next step. Again, this is all like choice, lesson release. If it's not for people, it's not going to be for everyone. There's no expectations of that, but some people see this and they're like, yes, I want to learn more. Step 3, the Freedom Era Academy. In that discovery process, which was that first course that I showed you guys, or, in that courses page that I showed you guys, it clearly lays out how the business works, all of the details on the Enagic products. So the science behind it, what all the different waters are, more about the Anespa shower unit and the turmeric supplement, and provides a sale, and the Freedom Era provides the sales call for me on my behalf by a very, very talented and have very high integrity sales team. I know some of them personally, and I trust them completely with talking to my people. And they do that sales call on behalf of me. That's part of what I'm paying for that 99 is for them to do my sales call, as well as me to have access to all of those trainings, master classes, all of that. And they help that new member decide if the Enagic portion of this business is right for them. Some people do just do the Freedom Era for the education, and they do not do the Enagic piece. A lot of people, though, do pair them together because they pair really, really well together. If the new member is a hell's yes to both the Freedom Era Academy and Enagic, then the sales team processes their orders, and then I receive a check in the mail 3 weeks from the date that gets processed. So one thing that I had mentioned on my cons list that was missing from the other ways that I've created income online is having retirement or legacy income, something to actually sink my teeth into for long-term strategy. And so Enagic has this really amazing career path that gives that option for a legacy income that you can will down to your kids. So I personally am at the top left right here. I'm a 6A in Enagic. That was $300,000 in lifetime cumulative sales. So in the 3 years that I've been in the business, once I hit 300,000 cumulative sales, and I have a team below me too. So this is also part of their sales. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. That made me 6A. And so that's like, I'm on the board. But the real goal is 6A 2-3, which I know 4 people personally that have reached this, actually, and more. They've gone to 6A 2-4 and 5 at this point, actually. So what happens is with Enagic, every single machine that is ever sold, they put a portion of that into this trust fund. And so when you reach the rank of 6A 2-3, and these ranks never go down. So like once you're 6A, you could take a break for 20 years and come back and you would still be 6A. You would still have all of your sales underneath you and all of that. They say once you've reached the rank of 6A 2-3, you basically have sold enough sales, sold enough machines that you get to begin to take the interest from that trust fund that they've been putting money into with every machine sale. And that's what supports this $5,000 a month for life. And that's on top of any other bonuses, anything else that any of their own sales. It's just you don't have to do anything extra for that. That's secured. And again, like I said, you can will that down to your kids as well. The next level is $10,000 monthly for life, $15,000, $20,000. It sounds crazy, $40,000 and $80,000. I believe that this company is 50 years old, and they made their business plan with thinking 400 years in the future. Really amazing Japanese company that's like thought of everything. And so they made this and they were like, we don't know. So maybe someday someone will reach that 80,000 monthly for life. And somebody just did. So that's really exciting that that's gets to be their reality. Okay, so a little bit about the commissions for the K8 is like the staple water ionizer that most people get, but there are different options. There's a whole product line. There's more expensive and cheaper. So, but this is the flagship basically. And the K8 sells for $4,980, which I know at first might sound like a lot, but if you think about people who buy water, bottled water, or maybe like a water delivery service, it's usually about 7 years that they would be spending that same amount of money, sometimes even less, depending on what kind of water they're buying, especially if they like to buy like more high quality spring water. Maybe in 5 years they're reaching that. And then but they have to keep paying that forever because they're still continually buying water, not to mention all the waste from the plastic bottles. So this is a one-time purchase of that 5,000, but it lasts for 30 years. So actually, when you divide it by the years, and yes, there are filters, so they've accounted for this too, but it where's my head at? There's about $200 a year in filters that you'll still be spending, but you're still over the 25-year lifespan, you're still saving thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars versus buying water. And buying water is not the same. This is, again, this isn't just a filter. This is an ionizer. So it actually changes the structure of the water and breaks it apart to make it resemble spring water that has just come out of the earth, where it's oxygenated and it's full of hydrogen and extra oxygen, and it's ready for your cells to just like suck it up. Elixir of life kind of thing. That's what this water does. It takes your tap water and turns it into that just like really vital spring water, which you cannot buy in a bottle. There are alkaline waters in a bottle, but they do not have an electrical charge. They are alkaline from a chemical, from some kind of additive mineral chemicals that they've put into that, which is not the same as changing it electrically, which does not bioaccumulate in your system. It's yeah, you can't bottle Enagic or Kangen water because it only lasts 72 hours. So, I mean, you could bottle it, but it's really just filtered water. It's not going to be actual Kangen water after those 3 days. So, okay, a little bit about that. The commissions for this get really amazing pretty quickly. So it starts out like, okay, $340 for your first sale, which is a decent amount of money. But after your third sale, that doubles to $680. Then it goes up to $1,020. It goes up to $1,360. Someone just rang my doorbell, but I'm not going to answer that. And then goes up to, and this chart actually doesn't show a way that we stack businesses on top of each other, and we end up getting even more commissions actually. So I, for example, when I was between 4A and 5A, which if this doesn't make sense to you, that's totally fine, but I'm a numbers person, so I threw this in here in case some other people like to see this. Between 4A and 5A, I started stacking my commissions. So I started making that $2,000 per sale while I was still a 4A, and I'm 6A now, and I make $2,720 for a K8 sale. Again, this is a patented compensation plan. It's a lot like a direct sales, like as if you're a broker in a real estate. It's very similar to that, and lifetime cumulative. So like I said, you could take a break for years and come back and leave off where you were. There is no rush. You can take as long, like I could take 20 years to get to that legacy income, and I wouldn't care, because that still to me is better than working a job for a not that great of pension at the end. How I made this graphic a couple years ago, and I thought I'd throw it in here because I thought it was relevant. So how I spend my work days now. When I was coaching, I didn't make enough to sustain myself. So I still had a waitressing job. So I had my day job. And then most of my work went to back end stuff, sales pages, website, funnels, email campaigns, landing pages, lead magnets, tripwires, like all the things. So I was either waitressing or I was like building the stuff. And then within all of that, and being a mom of two, I was squeezing in content creation, engaging with clients and prospects, a little bit of mindset work. I wanted to do more, but I didn't feel like I had time for that. Sales calls, lead generation. I was burnt out by all of that personally. Now with commission-based earning, um, I now don't have a day job. I'm not opposed to that. I love being able to work and reinvest any money I make in my business in growing it faster. There's no shame in that. I just personally don't have a job besides my online stuff right now. And I focus a ton on my mindset work because my energy and my vibration is what has led to my success. And the more I focus on that, the more people I've attracted and the more success I've had. It's been great. Content creation. I love writing and I like making reels and videos. So that's a really, really fun job for me. Lead generation, which basically means getting people interested in watching a video or hearing about the offer, whatever it is. Usually it's watching a video. Back end work a little bit, mainly because I choose to build things like this. This was, building these slides was back end work. I actually wouldn't need to do any back end work if I didn't want to. And then another quarter of my time is engaging with my team members and people that are interested in learning more. Yeah, that's what my days get to look like now, which are all things that I really, really enjoy. Our wider community of freedompreneurs. So these are pictures from the event I went to in Australia. I guess this was the pictures from, the first and second year. I went 2 years. They love to just plan really, really amazing personal development events, a little bit of business, but a lot of mindset, a lot of just like heartfelt things and cacao ceremonies. And it was a really, really, really amazing experience. We actually were in Australia in March 2020. Everything was locked down here in the US, and we were at an event with 800 people down there. Nobody got COVID, even though everybody had flown from like other countries and been on planes with people with confirmed cases. Somehow miraculously out of 800 people, nobody got it, nobody spread it. It felt like we were in this like little bliss bubble, and coming back to the US after the end of March was like a huge culture shock for me because Australia at that time hadn't locked down or anything like that. Just a quick, Christy X. Ord is the founder of the Freedom Era, and I wanted to share her story very, very quickly. So she used to be in a very, very broke space. She was an online coach as well. I resonate with her story a ton. She tells stories about like having to go to the grocery store and like put rice on one card and eggs on another because she only had $5 in one account and 8 in another. And I've been there, and filling up the gas tank for $5 because that's all they had. Like, I resonate a ton with her background and her story and her resilience to be an entrepreneur. And she tried everything, like eBay stuff and so many things online. And she finally found this business 4 years ago, maybe 5. And she is now a multimillionaire. She is 6A2-3, so she has that legacy income. She is about to hit 6A2-4, which she'll be getting that $10,000 a month. Her husband is also in the business. They shared with us recently that they have a residual of $50,000 a month that's guaranteed from their businesses and their ranks, and then they get bonuses and commissions on top of that. So they are doing really well. They have 3 kids. They've just bought 2 pieces of land. They're building on both of them, creating these communes. Really, really amazing people. And it's amazing what this industry has been able to open up to people that really put the work in. Some other people in our community. So here's Tiff. She started with 0 audience, 0 experience online. She decided to focus on building through Instagram using organic strategies. So she did not pay for ads. And she has been able to see a ton of success just implementing the trainings from the Freedom Era and using them in her Instagram. Meet Kylie. So Kylie is in Australia, they call it a horsey girl. She's a horsewoman. I don't, it's funny that they call that there, but she has a totally different audience and a totally different vibe to her page. And that's what I love about the personal branding is that it can work for anyone. She has had a ton of success, and she instead focuses on Facebook ads, and she kills it. She is on there doing trainings with us all the time. She just bought herself a new Dodge Ram. She's doing great, and she's only 26 years old, I believe. Okay, so my invitation to you, we're nearing the end of this presentation, is I have two offers. So one, if the Freedom Era Academy and that commission-based business model that I was talking about sounds interesting and you feel called to it, I invite you to the very first step, which is paying $99 to check out the Freedom Era platform and learn more. I'll mention again, there's a 14-day money back guarantee. So you can get in there, you can see the inner workings, and it'll clarify a lot that I've just been like spitting out to you now. And then you can say, yes, this is for me, or no, this isn't. You can get to hop on a call with someone who's going to be not pressuring you at all, but really helping you clarify and work through any questions you have, any questions about the product that you have. Hopefully you guys can see with this automation, you don't need to personally know everything there is about the product to refer it to someone else, because they will be talking to someone in the academy about the nitty gritties of like any questions that they may have. So that's where the duplication really, really can take effect, because you're not having to, I can learn everything about the water if I want to. If I don't want to, I can focus on learning on something else and allow the academy to take care of all of that for me. Second offer, if that business model doesn't sound of interest to you, which it totally might not, that's great and beautiful. It's definitely not for everyone, but you would like some help around an offer that you already have or are passionate about developing. I am offering these strategy calls. So it's called Structure to Succeed, game plan mapping and strategy calls with me. What that looks like is one 60-minute call to map out what direction you would like to put your effort into in building an offer online, and then a 30-minute follow-up call to check progress, answer questions, and intermittent support between these two calls. The two calls will probably be about a month apart from each other. So there's also support in between with any questions that you have. So that is a steal, in my opinion. $222 if purchased within 1 day from now, $333 if purchased afterwards. I also can do a payment plan. Just ask me. I'm totally open to payment plans. Bonus alert. So if you decide to partner with me in the Freedom Era and Enagic, you will get those Structured to Succeed calls for completely free, as well as an abundance of mentorship for life from me, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm like married to this business, and also from our wider community. So go ahead and drop a 1 in the comments if you would like my affiliate link to the Freedom Era Academy. Drop a 2 in the comments if you would like to book a Structured to Succeed package with me. And giveaway time. Okay. I'm actually going to stop my share for this. So for the giveaway, I am giving away a book. It's called Fire Starter Sessions by Danielle Laporte. It's a great book for for everyone, whether you already are on your path and purpose, or if you're trying to find yours. She has a ton of exercises and groundbreaking stuff in there. So what I am doing is I am picking a number between 1 and 20. And then you guys can go ahead and drop whatever number I've already picked. Drop a number between 1 and 20. Whoever gets closest to my number wins the book. We got 12, 11, 14, 17. Anyone else? Okay, I think everyone has put their numbers in. Perfect. Great. Thank you guys for staying on this whole time with me, even with my tech stuff. Okay, so my number was 15. So it looks like Christine Riley, you win. Yep, because you're only one away. I don't think anyone picked 16. Nope. So you are my winner. If you can just PM me your mailing address or whatever your Amazon, yeah, your best Amazon address, I will shoot that over to you. Yay. If you already have that book, I have a long list of other things I can get you to. So let me know if you already have that one and you want a different pick. Awesome. Okay. And then I just wanted to open this up for a Q&A. You do not perfect. Yay. Get that over to you. If you have any questions, now is the time you can unmute yourself. Oop. Now is the time you can unmute yourself or drop any questions into the chat. I know I spit a lot of info at you guys all at once, so happy to hear any questions that you may have. Going once, going twice. Okay, awesome, Audrey. I know it's probably a lot to process. I'm also very happy to hop on like a 20-minute phone call with anyone after this who has questions or wants to hear clarify anything. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, if that's it and no one else has any questions, then I'm going to end this. Thanks, Janet. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Audrey. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Dolores. Okay. Chat with you soon. All right. All right. Have a great evening. Thanks for tuning on, you guys.